There's a quiet strength within every woman. She's a warrior at heart, but not all of her battles are fought out loud. There are things she keeps hidden, not to deceive, but to preserve what is sacred within her. There are times when a woman chooses to remain silent, holding back the depth of her emotions. She doesn't share every feeling with the world because she knows the power of emotional boundaries. She's learned that her heart is precious and it doesn't have to be worn on her sleeve for validation. It's okay to protect her peace, to guard what makes her whole. And when it comes to her dreams, she holds them close. They are hers to cultivate. She understands that the world doesn't need to understand every step of her journey, especially in the beginning. She knows that her vision is powerful enough to be nurtured in silence before it's unleashed into the world. She doesn't need approval or applause to make it real. Her dreams are rooted in her belief that if she dares to dream, she will manifest. But the strongest women, the ones you see smiling, have a deeper story than what they let on. She hides her pain, not because she's ashamed of it, but because she is strong enough to handle it on her own. Every scar is a lesson, every tear a testament to her resilience. The world doesn't always need to see her broken moments because she knows they are temporary. Her strength is found in the ability to rise even when no one is watching. Her wisdom is vast, but she doesn't share it with everyone. There's a quiet knowing that not everyone can grasp the depth of her thoughts, her insights, her intuition. She doesn't speak unless it's necessary because her words are meant to empower, not to be thrown away. When she does speak, it's with purpose, and when she acts, it's with certainty. And perhaps the most beautiful thing she hides is her true self. She understands that she is not defined by what others think of her. Her identity is not shaped by external forces. She knows who she is. Her worth is already established within her. She is the architect of her own story, and no one has the power to rewrite it unless she allows them. A woman who hides these things is not weak, she is wise, she is powerful, she is learning, growing, and preparing for what the world is not yet ready for. And when the time is right, she will reveal her power not because she has to, but because the world will need her strength, her grace, her wisdom. But until that moment, she knows that everything she's hiding is simply a part of the masterpiece she is becoming. No one can truly understand the layers of a woman's soul unless they take the time to listen, to respect, and to honor the quiet strength she carries. A woman often chooses to keep certain things hidden, not as an act of secrecy, but as a form of protecting her peace and power. There is an incredible depth within her that is not always visible to the outside world. The strength she carries isn't always shown in loud outward displays, but is sometimes concealed in her quiet moments of reflection, in her decisions to keep things to herself. This isn't because she's hiding something negative or dishonest, it's because she has learned the value of guarding her energy and creating a space where only the right things can enter. The world often expects a woman to be open, to share her thoughts, her feelings, and her experiences. Society pressures her to speak out, to show up, and to prove herself in every space she occupies. But a woman who knows her worth understands that not everything requires validation from the outside. She knows that her inner world is her sanctuary, and the things she keeps hidden are the most sacred parts of herself. These hidden aspects are not signs of insecurity, but signals of self-awareness and self-care. In a world where vulnerability is sometimes seen as a weakness, a woman who chooses silence and mystery around her emotions is not weak, she is wise. She knows that she doesn't have to share everything with the world to feel seen. Sometimes the greatest act of self-love is recognizing that she can hold parts of herself for her own peace and strength. The quiet moments of introspection, the times when she chooses not to explain herself to others, are her acts of power. This is where she refines her purpose and strengthens her resolve. Her strength lies in her ability to navigate the world without needing constant reassurance or validation from others. She is aware of the power in silence and knows how to protect her heart by not exposing every feeling to the world. Not every battle needs to be fought publicly, and not every feeling needs to be laid bare for others to critique. In choosing to keep things hidden, she is ensuring that her energy remains untapped, preserving her peace and protecting her spirit. This doesn't mean that she is disconnected or distant. It simply means that she is not willing to allow her peace to be disturbed by unnecessary noise. She is creating a life in which only what nourishes her soul has access to her. It's an intentional decision to keep her emotional world intact and free from external influence. She knows that she holds the power to control her space, and she chooses to surround herself with what elevates her rather than what drains her. The woman who hides her emotions does so because she understands the importance of emotional balance. She knows that she cannot give all of herself away or let others take pieces of her without replenishing herself first. She's aware that her energy is sacred, and she reserves the right to protect it, to decide who and what gets close to her heart. This self-awareness allows her to thrive in a world that often demands constant interaction and emotional exposure. She is not afraid to keep things to herself because she knows that her quiet strength is more powerful than any external validation. She is not living for the approval of others. She is living for her own growth, fulfillment, and peace. She trusts that the right people will understand her silence and appreciate the depth she carries. And when she is ready to share, she does so on her own terms, knowing that the most powerful thing she can offer is her full, unguarded self. But until that moment comes, she allows her silence to be the shield that protects her peace and preserves her strength. A woman often hides her deepest feelings, not out of manipulation or fear, but to preserve her emotional resilience and protect her heart. She has learned that emotions, when shared too freely, can be fragile and vulnerable to the opinions or judgments of others. Her heart is sacred, and she understands that not everyone is worthy of its depth. While she may appear strong and self-assured on the outside, there is a quiet wisdom that governs how much of herself she reveals. She has learned that sharing too much too soon can leave her feeling exposed, while holding back allows her to preserve the emotional energy needed to face the challenges of life with clarity and strength. In a world that often encourages women to be open, expressive, and emotionally available, this discretion is a conscious choice. It's a choice rooted in self-respect and emotional maturity. She has realized that there is power in not allowing others to see every aspect of her inner world. The woman who keeps her feelings hidden isn't hiding out of shame or insecurity. She is protecting her peace. She understands that her emotions are her own responsibility and that they should not be given away carelessly to anyone who isn't capable of handling them with respect and empathy. Emotions are powerful forces within us, and when shared, they can become exposed to the reactions of others. Not everyone has the emotional capacity to understand or empathize with the complexity of what a woman feels. Too often, the rawness of emotions can be dismissed, misunderstood, or invalidated. To guard against this, a woman will sometimes choose to keep her feelings private, allowing her the space to process, reflect, and heal without external interference. In doing so, she is not only protecting herself, but also ensuring that her emotions don't become a tool for others to use against her. She refuses to let others diminish the value of what she is feeling by attempting to project their own views onto her. This emotional discretion is a form of strength. She knows that her heart is a powerful thing capable of great love, great hurt, and great healing. But she also knows that emotions, when shared prematurely, can make her feel vulnerable. By keeping her feelings close to her heart, she ensures that only those who have earned her trust will gain access to them. She doesn't let her feelings be swayed by every passing circumstance or influenced by the opinions of others. Instead, she takes the time to reflect on what she truly feels, to examine the roots of her emotions, and to understand what they are telling her about herself and the world around her. There is immense wisdom in this. A woman who hides her feelings knows that at times the best course of action is to be silent, to hold her thoughts and emotions close, and to let them grow in their own time. She does not need to share everything she feels to be understood. Often the most powerful message she can convey is the strength she demonstrates by holding her feelings in a space where they can grow and transform without external validation or interference. She understands that her feelings are hers to manage, and she has the ability to process and work through them without needing to bring others into her emotional world unless she feels it is necessary. By doing this, she ensures that her heart remains protected, but it also opens the door for her to experience growth and clarity. When a woman keeps her feelings hidden, it is not out of fear or insecurity. It's an act of wisdom and self-protection. She is investing in her own emotional well-being, understanding that sometimes the loudest, most transformative moments happen in silence. There is power in choosing when and where to expose your emotions. When the time is right, she will share them, not because she has to, but because she knows that the people who truly care will understand the depth behind her words. And when that moment comes, her feelings will be all the more powerful because they have been nurtured and protected. A woman often keeps her dreams guarded, for she knows the value of manifesting her desires in her own time, on her own terms. Her dreams are not mere fantasies, they are the seeds of her future, the vision she carries deep within her soul. But not every dream needs to be shared, not every aspiration needs to be exposed to the world. There is a quiet strength in keeping her dreams to herself, a deliberate act of faith in her own journey and the power of patience. The world may not always understand the magnitude of what she envisions, and that's why she holds her dreams close, nurturing them until they are ready to be realized. This practice is not about secrecy or insecurity, it's about protecting the sacredness of her vision. A dream is a fragile thing at its inception. It's a seed, and just like any seed, it requires time, care, and the right environment to grow. When a woman shares her dreams too early, she opens herself to the doubts, judgments, and projections of others. People may not always see the potential in her dreams. They may tell her it's too big, too unrealistic, or too risky. By keeping her dreams hidden, she allows them to grow in silence, free from the opinions and criticisms of others. She knows that not everyone is equipped to handle the magnitude of what she envisions. Some people may not understand the depth of her ambition or the strength it takes to keep going when the world has no faith in what she's doing. She understands the importance of patience. Dreams take time to materialize. They require persistence, hard work, and the courage to keep moving forward, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. A woman who hides her dreams is not afraid to fail. She simply knows that failure is a part of the process. She understands that failure is not the end, but a necessary stepping stone towards success. By keeping her dreams to herself, she gives them the space to evolve, to shift, to grow into something that will eventually surpass the limitations of others' expectations. She protects the purity of her vision from being tainted by the doubts or limitations of the outside world. There is also an element of self-reliance in hiding her dreams. A woman who holds her dreams in her heart isn't waiting for others to give her permission to succeed. She knows that the only approval she needs is her own. Her dreams are hers to build, to shape, and to transform. She doesn't need anyone else's validation to make her vision a reality. While others may be quick to voice their opinions or cast doubt on her path, she remains steadfast in her belief. She doesn't need anyone's permission to dream, and she doesn't need anyone's approval to make those dreams come true. She trusts herself in the process. She also knows that sharing her dreams too soon can open the door to distraction. People have opinions, and some may offer unsolicited advice or try to sway her from her path. She understands the importance of staying focused and grounded in her own belief, especially when the journey is difficult and the destination seems far away. If she shares her dreams prematurely, she may invite distractions that can derail her from her true purpose. By keeping her dreams to herself, she allows herself the clarity to pursue them without interference. Keeping her dreams guarded also protects her from unnecessary pressure. The world loves to place expectations on people, especially women. People may have preconceived ideas of what success should look like or how quickly a dream should be realized. But a woman who chooses to keep her dreams private does so because she understands that success is a deeply personal journey. It doesn't look the same for everyone, and it doesn't unfold according to anyone's timeline but her own. She has learned that the process of realizing her dreams is as important as the destination. It is about growing, evolving, and learning along the way. The more she protects her dreams from the world's expectations, the more she can focus on her own path. A woman who keeps her dreams hidden is not afraid to walk alone. She understands that her vision is hers to fulfill, and sometimes the road to success is solitary. While others may not always see her potential, she has learned to trust the quiet power of her inner vision. She is not in a rush to share what she is building with the world until she is ready to reveal it in all its glory. And when that time comes, when her dreams are ready to be shown, they will speak for themselves. The world will see her efforts, her hard work, and the quiet power of her determination. She won't need to explain herself. Her dreams will already be living proof of what she has accomplished. This quiet nurturing of dreams is a reminder of the strength and resilience that lie within every woman. Her dreams are a reflection of her unique potential, and she knows that they are worth guarding until the right time. A woman who keeps her dreams hidden is not weak or uncertain. She is wise, patient, and committed to building something that will last. She knows that the process of creation is sacred and that the world will not always be ready for the magnitude of her vision. But when the time is right, she will share her dreams with the world, and they will shine brighter than anyone could have ever imagined. A woman often hides her pain, not out of fear, but because she understands that her journey is hers to navigate. And sometimes not everyone is meant to walk through her battles. She carries her burdens with quiet grace, understanding that pain is a part of life, but it does not define her. She has learned that revealing her pain can sometimes invite unwanted pity or judgment, and she values her strength in being able to carry it on her own. But this does not mean that she is untouched or unaffected by the trials she faces, as it simply means she chooses to protect her inner world from being overwhelmed by the weight of her struggles. Pain is a deeply personal experience, and not every person around her is equipped to understand or help carry it. She knows that sharing the depth of her hurt may not always bring the comfort she seeks. People may offer advice or sympathy, but often those around her cannot truly grasp the magnitude of what she is going through. She has learned that not everyone who asks, "How are you?" is truly prepared to hear the truth. Sometimes it's easier to keep her struggles to herself than to try to explain the complexities of what she feels inside. So she hides her pain, not because she is weak, but because she understands that there are parts of her journey that are too sacred to be shared casually. The act of hiding her pain is also an expression of her resilience. She understands that vulnerability is a powerful thing, but it is also something that must be protected. Not everyone is worthy of seeing the raw, unfiltered parts of her. She knows that there are times when showing her pain can leave her feeling exposed and unprotected. She keeps her wounds covered, not because she is afraid to heal, but because she is in control of how and when she reveals them. Healing, she knows, is a private process, one that requires time, patience, and a deep connection with herself. By keeping her pain hidden, she is also protecting her healing process. This is not to say that she is ashamed of her pain, far from it. A woman understands that pain is an essential part of growth. It teaches lessons, deepens her compassion, and builds her character. But she also knows that her healing is a personal responsibility, and sometimes it's better to process her emotions in solitude without the external pressures of others' expectations. She may need space to feel, to grieve, and to work through the emotions that arise without feeling the need to perform or meet the expectations of others. In hiding her pain, she is giving herself the time and space she needs to heal in her own way, on her own terms. Moreover, she hides her pain because she is determined not to let it define her. Life can be challenging, and the weight of the world often feels unbearable, but she refuses to be known only for her struggles. She knows that her pain is only a chapter in her story, not the entire book. She refuses to let it overshadow the beauty, strength, and resilience that she carries within her. Her story is more than her pain. It's about the victories, the triumphs, the moments of peace and joy, and the lessons she learns along the way. By keeping her pain hidden, she is not denying its existence. She is simply choosing to not let it dominate her narrative. She also hides her pain because she understands the power of hope. Even in the darkest moments, she believes that things can get better. She knows that pain is not permanent, and while it may feel overwhelming in the moment, she trusts that brighter days are ahead. By keeping her pain hidden, she preserves the possibility of healing and transformation. She does not want to be trapped in her pain, and she knows that sometimes the best way to heal is to keep moving forward, to take small steps every day, and to focus on the future rather than dwelling on the past. A woman who hides her pain is not pretending to be strong for others. She is cultivating her own strength from within. She knows that strength is not the absence of pain, but the ability to keep going despite it. She recognizes that her power lies in her ability to endure, to rise above, and to continue moving forward, even when the world around her may not understand the depths of her struggle. Her ability to hide her pain is not a weakness, it's a sign of her inner strength and emotional resilience. She knows that sharing her pain with the right people in the right way is important, but she also knows that not everyone is deserving of knowing the intimate details of her struggles. She understands the importance of boundaries and protecting her emotional well-being. By hiding her pain, she is taking control of her story, of her healing, and of how she chooses to navigate the challenges life throws her way. Her journey is hers to walk, and she chooses when and how she will let others in. Through it all, she remains a testament to the quiet strength of a woman who faces her battles with grace and dignity, knowing that she has the power to overcome, to heal, and to rise. A woman often keeps her wisdom and intuition close, knowing that not everyone can understand the depth of her vision and the quiet power of her instincts. She understands that her inner guidance is a precious gift, one that has been shaped by years of experience, reflection, and growth. This wisdom, often honed through moments of pain, joy, success, and failure, is a powerful tool that guides her through life. But not all wisdom is meant to be shared, and not all intuition should be expressed. There is a quiet strength in holding back, a recognition that some things are meant to be kept close, protected, and respected for their sacred value. The wisdom a woman carries is not always visible to the outside world. She may appear soft-spoken, gentle, or reserved, but beneath the surface, she is a powerhouse of understanding and insight. She has learned through experience that sometimes the best way to act is by staying silent, observing, and listening. She knows when to speak and when to remain quiet, understanding that not all situations require a response. Her wisdom is not loud, but it is powerful. It doesn't demand attention. Instead, it commands respect when it is needed most. She has learned that there is strength in silence and that her words carry weight when they are spoken thoughtfully, with intention, and only when it matters most. This quiet strength is built on years of learning to trust herself. A woman who holds her wisdom and intuition close has spent time learning to discern between her own voice and the voices of others. She knows that there is power in listening to her own inner guidance, but that it requires patience and practice to distinguish what is truly hers from what is influenced by the outside world. In a world full of noise and distractions, she has learned the importance of turning inward, of tuning out the expectations, opinions, and judgments of others, and focusing on what feels right in her soul. This inner clarity is what allows her to navigate life with grace, confidence, and purpose. A woman who keeps her wisdom hidden understands that not everyone is ready to receive it. She knows that some people may not be open to hearing the truth, especially when it challenges their beliefs, fears, or comfort zones. She has learned that sharing her knowledge too freely can sometimes lead to misunderstandings, judgment, or even resentment, and that not everyone is prepared to hear the depth of her experiences or to accept the lessons she has learned along the way. By keeping her wisdom close, she protects herself from being misunderstood or judged by those who may not yet be ready to appreciate her perspective. Her wisdom is sacred, and she knows that it is only valuable when it is shared with the right people at the right time. This doesn't mean that she is unwilling to share her insights or guidance. Rather, she chooses her moments carefully. She understands that the right words spoken at the right time can change lives, but that speaking prematurely or without purpose can have the opposite effect. She doesn't waste her wisdom on those who are not ready to hear it. Instead, she waits for the right opportunities when her words will have the greatest impact and will be received with openness and respect. This discernment is a sign of her emotional intelligence and maturity. She knows that her wisdom is precious and should be shared only when it has the power to create positive change. Her intuition is also a powerful force that she holds close. It is her sixth sense, the quiet knowing that guides her even when the logical mind fails to provide answers. She has learned to trust her instincts, to listen to that inner voice that speaks to her when the answers are not immediately clear. This intuition is often more reliable than any external source of advice. It comes from deep within, shaped by her life experiences and her connection to herself and the world around her. It is a gift, and she has learned to honor it by not second-guessing herself or allowing the voices of others to drown it out. Intuition often operates on a level that others may not understand, and this can be a challenge. People may question her decisions, her choices, or the way she perceives situations, but she knows better than to let their doubts sway her. She has learned to trust the whispers of her heart even when others cannot hear them. She understands that intuition is not about logic or reasoning, it's about a deep connection to the universe, to the energy around her, and to the unseen forces that guide her path. It's an inner knowing that transcends facts and figures, and it's one of the greatest gifts she possesses. By keeping her wisdom and intuition hidden at times, she also protects herself from the influence of others who may not have her best interests at heart. The world is full of distractions, voices, and opinions that can cloud judgment and lead a person away from their true path. A woman who knows the power of her intuition keeps it close, knowing that it is her internal compass guiding her toward what is right for her, even when it may not align with what others expect or want. She understands that following her own path requires courage, and by trusting herself, she gives herself the strength to stand firm, even when others may not understand or support her decisions. In a world that often encourages conformity and external validation, a woman who keeps her wisdom and intuition hidden is a reminder of the power of self-trust. She understands that her greatest ally is herself, and that her inner guidance is all she needs to navigate the complexities of life. She has learned that the most powerful decisions come from within, not from the advice of others, no matter how well-meaning. By protecting her wisdom and intuition, she is not only honoring herself, but also cultivating the strength, clarity, and confidence to walk her own unique path. And when she finally shares her wisdom, it is done with purpose, intention, and the quiet power of a woman who knows herself deeply and trusts her journey. A woman who hides her desires does so out of the wisdom of understanding that not everyone will see her vision in the same light. People have different perspectives, and what may seem like a worthy aspiration to her might not resonate with someone else. She recognizes that her desires are sacred, and sharing them prematurely can invite unnecessary external pressure. She doesn't need validation from others to pursue what her heart truly craves. Instead, she keeps her desires to herself until they have fully formed, until they are strong enough to withstand the noise and the distractions of the world around her. She understands that her desires are a reflection of her unique journey, and no one else can fully understand their importance or how deeply they matter to her. There is also a sense of protection in hiding her desires. A woman knows that when her dreams and desires are shared too soon, they become vulnerable to external influence. People may unintentionally dampen her enthusiasm by pointing out the obstacles, offering unsolicited advice, or expressing doubt about her goals. But she is determined to protect her dreams from such negativity. By keeping them to herself for a time, she can nurture them in a safe space, free from judgment. She allows them to grow, strengthen, and evolve on their own, untainted by the perspectives of others. When she is ready to reveal them, they will be fully formed and more resilient to outside criticism. This is not about being secretive or evasive. It is about recognizing the power of desire and treating it with the respect it deserves. She knows that a desire, when given the time and space to develop, becomes more than just a wish. It becomes a plan, a purpose, and a vision for her life. In the early stages, her desires may still be in the process of crystallizing, and sharing them prematurely could lead to unnecessary distractions or confusion. She prefers to wait until the timing is right, until she has a clearer understanding of how to turn those desires into tangible actions. This allows her to stay focused, grounded, and clear-headed in her pursuit without being swayed by the external opinions of others. A woman who hides her desires is also mindful of her emotional energy. Not every desire is meant to be shared with the world. She recognizes that when she shares her deepest desires too soon, she might be met with a flood of energy from others, whether positive or negative. While some may support her, others may criticize or question her choices. This can drain her emotional energy and create doubt where there was once certainty. By keeping her desires hidden, she protects her energy, ensuring that she is only expending it in the most productive and meaningful ways. She reserves her emotional strength for the moments when she is truly ready to act on her desires, when the time has come for her to take inspired action toward making them a reality. In addition to protecting her desires from external influence, a woman who hides her desires is also allowing herself the freedom to evolve. She understands that desires are fluid, and as she grows and learns, so too do her aspirations. What she wants today might not be the same as what she wants tomorrow. Her desires evolve as she gains new experiences, insights, and wisdom. By keeping them to herself, she avoids feeling pressure to commit to a singular vision too early. She allows her desires to grow alongside her, knowing that her dreams may shift and change as she learns more about herself and the world around her. There is beauty in this evolution as it reflects her personal growth and her ability to adapt to new circumstances. Moreover, she understands the importance of setting her intentions in private before sharing them with others. There is power in intentionality and the ability to focus deeply on what she truly wants without the distraction of external opinions. The act of keeping her desires private is a way for her to gain clarity and to affirm that these are her desires and not simply the result of outside influence. She is not swayed by what society expects of her or by the voices of those who may not understand her path. Instead, she centers herself in her own truth and asks herself what she truly wants. By keeping her desires hidden, she affirms her autonomy and her right to pursue what feels aligned with her highest self. There is also a profound strength in hiding desires because it reflects a deep understanding of the journey ahead. She knows that desires are not instant gratifications, but are goals that require hard work, dedication, and resilience. By keeping her desires private, she avoids the trap of seeking external validation before she has even taken the first steps toward manifesting them. She knows that the process of turning a desire into reality is one of commitment and perseverance, and she is not looking for anyone to give her permission to pursue her dreams. She is quietly building her vision, making plans, and taking steps toward what she wants, all while keeping her desires close to her heart until the time is right to share them with the world. Finally, a woman who hides her desires understands the importance of letting her actions speak louder than words. She doesn't need to talk endlessly about what she wants. She lets the energy she puts into her desires speak for itself. By keeping her aspirations private, she creates the space to work toward them diligently, without feeling the pressure to justify or explain them to anyone. She knows that when the time comes to share her success, the journey she's taken to achieve her desires will be far more powerful than any words could express. Her actions will reflect the strength, perseverance, and focus that went into realizing her dreams. And when that time comes, she will no longer need validation because her desires will have already spoken for themselves through the very life she has created. A woman who keeps her desires hidden is not insecure or secretive. She is wise, patient, and deeply in tune with her own truth. She knows that desires are sacred, and she understands that revealing them too soon can invite unnecessary pressure or distractions. By keeping them close, she protects their purity, nurtures their growth, and allows them to manifest in their own time. And when the moment arrives for her to share them, she will do so with the quiet confidence of a woman who has built her dreams from the inside out, fully capable of bringing them into the world with power and intention. In conclusion, the woman who hides these three things, her pain, her wisdom, her intuition, her desires, and her truth, does not do so out of weakness, fear, or insecurity. She does it out of a deep understanding of her own power, strength, and inner knowing. She is a woman who understands that her journey is sacred and that not everything needs to be shared with the world in its most vulnerable stages. She has learned that protecting her innermost parts is not about secrecy, but about honoring her path, preserving her emotional energy, and nurturing her growth. By keeping these things close, she creates space for her own healing, evolution, and empowerment. She knows when to speak, when to act, and when to protect the things that are most precious to her. In a world that often seeks to rush, judge, and question, this woman knows that her desires, her wisdom, her intuition, and her pain are hers to navigate. They do not belong to anyone else, and she will only reveal them when she is ready, when they are fully formed and she is confident in their strength. She walks through life with quiet grace, embracing her own power, trusting her journey, and allowing her desires to unfold at their own pace. And when the time comes for her to share her truth with the world, she will do so with an unwavering strength that radiates from within. She is not bound by anyone's expectations. She is driven by her own inner compass, and that is what makes her unstoppable. In the end, the woman who hides these things is not hiding out of fear or insecurity. She is simply nurturing her power, refining her path, and trusting that in due time, the world will see her for exactly who she is, a woman of incredible strength, wisdom, and purpose. And when she finally lets the world in, her story will speak louder than words ever could.